Saturday at 7:30, straight after the news.
Well, Carlton kicked 3 goals, 3-2-5 in that quarter to peg the Swans back by 4 points. The margin at the last change, 22 points. And yet halfway through the term, Kevin Bartlett, it really looked as if the Swans just about had the match at their mercy.
Tim, that's correct, but Steve Kernahan, what a magnificent game he's played tonight for Carlton. He's got 5 goals now to three-quarter time. He's played all over the field. He's been in the ruck. He's been full forward and centre-half forward, and he's been an inspirational leader. At half-time, Robert Walls made 9 major changes, and certainly it proved to be a winning point for Robert Walls in that quarter. Silvani went into the defence. Silvani had been magnificent on the forward line with 2 goals with Kernahan, and he's played great down there in defence. He's continued that good forward work on. We've also saw Bradley went into the forward pocket and roving from the centre. Johnston then went into the centre and lifted. He'd been a very poor player in that first half, but when he went into the centre of the ground, he did take away a little bit from Greg Williams, who was a dominating player in that first half. RHYS-JONES, well, he went to full forward, then back to the wing. Rod Carter's been great down there in that last line of defence against RHYS-JONES in that quarter. But Kernahan, when he went down there, that was the problem, because Dennis Carroll, the Swans captain, couldn't hold him in the air. The other move, Dennis went to the half-back flank, GLASCOTT to the wing, and finally Meldrum even went down to that full forward line. So Robert Walls wasn't frightened that quarter to move his players around, and it did have an effect. For the Swans, their tackling was absolutely superb in that quarter, but on the scoreboard, I'm certain Tom HAFEY would be very disappointed that they actually lost 4 points in that quarter. Healy was great, Mitchell and Williams, and I mentioned Carter before. So the Swans, even though they played well that quarter, I would think, Doug, very disappointed with the fact that Kernahan snatched that quarter away from him with those 3 great goals.
Agreed, Kev. It was Kernahan's quarter, and I think Tom would be terribly disappointed with 2 15-metre penalties against Carroll that gave Kernahan that much closer shot for goal. I guess the other significant factor was the fact that Ironmonger's dominance disappeared. I think he might have run out of puff because he did an enormous amount of work in the first half, and to me, it wasn't as if Justin Madden really took over. It just looked to me as if Ironmonger had lost some of his stamina.
Well, of course, Tom HAFEY took Ironmonger off just before half-time. And in the past, Ironmonger has had trouble seeing out a full game. He's such a giant of a man, and he played so well in that first half. So maybe Tom HAFEY had an inkling that Ironmonger could struggle to see out the game. But I think we've also got to give marks to Madden, because he did improve that quarter. I thought Madden contested a lot stronger. So I think we've got to give him a pat on the back there.
One player I was a bit disappointed in, Kev, was Warwick Capper. For the first time for a long time, I thought in that quarter he really lost interest a little. I mean, his job is to fly and fly recklessly so the little fellas can come in. And a couple of times he didn't even get airborne when the ball came down there. And when he's not at his acrobatic, aggravating best, the team looks pretty ordinary up forward.
Plus, I think we've got to give an extra pat on the back to Silvani, because a youngster played very well on the forward line. The ball wasn't coming down. Walls moved him to full back, and he's played in front of Capper. He's punched the ball strongly away when he's been caught from behind, and that's one area where the Carlton players have to improve. We saw Bradley in that quarter take the ball off the pack with that quick left foot kick. It bounced the wrong way, but trying to get smaller players to the front of the pack, I'm certain that's why Robert Walls has moved a lot of these players around. And in this quarter, he'll be certainly hoping that they can improve in that small man department. DOROTICH has been magnificent, Tim, right throughout the game. He's had several opponents. Henwood started on DOROTICH. He was too good for Henwood. Then they brought Smith on, and Smith did a couple of things when he came onto the ground. He's about 6'6", 6'7", but DOROTICH has been strong all night. We see there Bernie Evans hasn't really been in the play. Neil Cordy improved a little bit that quarter, but really has had no influence on the game whatsoever. But
Bolton's
there's the man.
Dominance went, Kev. Bolton's
dominance did go, but we just saw Kernahan take that mark, and he really has been the star for Carlton. There was a lot of talk at the beginning of the season when Kernahan was made captain, but I think tonight he's showing why he is captain, because he's an inspirational player. We see here, now this is a passage of play where you see the Swans. Beautiful hand passing there by Healy, out to Mitchell, and Mitchell kicked 2 great goals in that quarter, running into goals, and he very rarely misses. On the handball department, the Sydney Swans, I think that indicates 105 to 67 that they've got plenty of players around the ball. They're very quick with their hands. The kicks department, very little in that, but I feel that handball one is the significant one where the Swans have had the numbers around the ball.
I just got the feeling towards the end of the quarter, as Carlton did start to sense that there might be a revival on, that their scrapping and endeavour lifted a bit, and I guess that's what they've really got to do to make a fist of it in this last term.
The reason being, Tim, is that they had more use of the ball. And they've got so many brilliant players, Carlton. We've seen in the past that if they play the low sides, they can really cut the weaker teams to pieces, because they have got some very brilliant players. The question mark has always been, can they produce it against solid tackling opponents who will be Adam right throughout the game? So maybe the Swans, the pressure was off a little bit, and some of those good players came into the game in that quarter. So Robert Walls is hoping for certain that they can even lift again, because they've still got a big task in front of them.
Well, they've certainly got to have their best quarter of the match. They kicked 4 goals in the first quarter, 2 in the second. Didn't get one until, gee, almost 20 minutes into that third term, and then got 3, but a couple really by virtue of 15-metre penalties. It's hard to see them kicking enough goals, I would think, in this last term to win the match.
Well, I don't know about that. I think they are capable of kicking goals, because when you've got a player like Kernahan, who's kicked 5 goals, 5, and he's marking so well, that if you can get the ball down to him quickly enough, I mean, he's quite capable of kicking 10, as we saw when he played for South Australia against Victoria. So he's such a great player. They're in with a chance.
Start of the last quarter at the Sydney Cricket Ground, the opening match in round 6 of the 1987 VFL season. The Sydney Swans second on the ladder, leading top team Carlton by 22 points, but the Blues with possession of the ball, not making anything of it. And another ball up, the result out of that on that hallowed SCG cricket turf in midfield. 20 seconds down in the final term, and Carlton needing to make every post a winner. Madden wins this time, and if he could get on top, he could make a difference. But right Sharks, now Smith, the big fellow, who did well late last year for the Swans. Hard tackling by Carlton, and Bradley wins the free kick against Potter for holding the ball, and that's a good sign for the Blues.
Alvin, that centre half back. Evans the target. Browning above him should have held that one. Browning is pushed by Evans, I thought. Umpire says play on.
I thought he played for the free kick then.
Browning.
I think he should have knocked the ball out rather than hover over the top of the ball. The umpires very rarely pay that as a free kick today.
It's been very difficult to earn free kicks for this particular season. I think that's probably a good thing too. There goes Kernahan above them, picked up by Bolton. Bolton then kicks it very high downfield. DOROTICH in great position. Actually, he's hurt himself that time. Maybe he was pulled out there by Smith, and the free kick certainly goes to DOROTICH.
He's had several hard knocks
look
tonight.
At him, straight through him.
That's about the third time he's copped one in the head.
He remembers them too. Look out.
Got them all on the bridge of the nose, I think, which might be a bit tender. Johnston nicely to Kernahan. Good hand pass. Running onto it is Evans. But Evans never able to work his way clear. But a free kick to the Blues. Cordy doesn't like it, and I don't blame him. I thought that looked a bit fortunate for Carlton. Very iffy. And the big crowd perhaps doesn't like it too much. They're learning their footy up here in Sydney. Evans using the torpedo to full forward. And the defenders surrounding Kernahan, then making sure he couldn't get hands onto it. It's a behind, first score of the last quarter. Interesting to see
Ironmonger right back in the square there. I think Tom HAFEY, you know, in that last quarter thought Carroll is too short, and yes. Kernahan must, Ironmonger must get back into that goal square.
Wayne Henwood was there too, Kevin. He kicked that ball out, so there's a lot of tall timber. Healy going to be caught, but he breaks the Alvin tackle. Sends it down towards centre wing position, looking for Potter. Over the back it goes, and well played. Lost by Robertson. And now the umpire again.
They've actually moved Henwood onto Kernahan now.
Yes, I thought the same as you. Sometimes I feel that Dennis Carroll's rightful position would be a halfback flanker, just in physique.
That's his build.
Madden very, very cleverly down to Bradley. In front, Steve Kernahan, an awkward bounce, 2-1 against him. You better hurry, Henwood. You won't get away with it. He does get it out wide too. He's in business. On half-back flank, has a lot of time to steady. Kicks it long. DOROTICH is in good position. Up he goes and takes it far too easily. And DOROTICH now on half-back flank. But there was no opposition. DOROTICH has been a splendid centre half-back all night. Nobody's taken over from him. And he gets a 15-metre penalty. Steadies his big John, sends a driver downfield, always looking for Steve Kernahan, and he nearly held it. Down goes RHYS-JONES, tumble to the ground. The little men are there again through David Murphy. David Murphy's going, look out, he's caught by Kernahan, and his hand pass, it's against him. It's against him, and well played, captain. That was a magnificent tackle.
It was great play by Kernahan, because he chased for some 25-30 metres, and he was well rewarded for that hard work.
Meldrum just beside where Kernahan is about to kick from, in the hands of trainers. Apparently received a chop on the throat, but now he runs away from the trainers. Plenty of leapers. Henwood weighted down. Good smother, Gleeson, but dropped the ball when he had a great scoring chance. Carter rakes it in and holds on for dear life and forces a ball up, and that was a great opportunity wasted by Gleeson, number 12, who had it at his disposal and was running goalward.
Ironmonger and Kernahan. Ironmonger to Wright was very clever. Wright's been a splendid player. Out past GLASCOTT, running with the flight of the ball. Takes a good one. He's 65 to 70 metres from goal. Wayne Johnston gives a short lead, but it's ignored by David GLASCOTT. Kicks it high. Always the target, Stephen Kernahan. 3 against him. And Ironmonger thumps it out to Wayne Johnston. Left foot this time is a very good one. That's his second. Well, Ironmonger got up high and thumped it away, but there was a Carlton player waiting for that one.
Doesn't it show the value of a good high-marking forward, because 4 of them went against him to 3, as you can see, and that must leave loose men at ground level.
Well, all night Carlton has lacked that player at the bottom of the pack. Johnston in that first half on the half-forward flank couldn't get in the game. They've moved him into the centre, and that's really given him a lift. And he likes playing on the ball and in the centre, and he pushed himself right down to the forward line. Loves to kick a goal, and he's very good at it.
The Blues within 15 points 5 minutes into the last quarter. Johnston overrunning it, had a great chance. Now Gleeson, nothing back there for Carlton, and Carter again hangs onto that ball as though it's gold bullion. It is the golden-coloured ball that they use at night. Not worth as much as the other commodity, but for Carter it's more important at the moment. Out to halfback. Blues really lifting now and looking better than they have done all night. Robertson caught on his wrong boot. Didn't know how to use the other one, or that one, the right one, and took it over the line for a throw-in.
What a good smother it was by young Potter, who's played very well. He's about 21 or 22 years old, but very inexperienced player. Motley tackled by Murphy very well. Held it too long. David Murphy, one of the big improvers in this side, out to Williams. Williams lightning stuff to Wright. Wright's about centre wing position, can go for a long run, sends it very high downfield. Underneath it, the chances there for Kennedy, but missed it. And there it is again.
Lacking a bit of marking power now on the forward line, the Swans. You've mentioned it a couple of times tonight, Doug, that Warwick Kappa hasn't flown for enough marks, and then he probably should have sensed earlier that kick was going to drop short, and he should have pushed himself out so he can contest it.
Just over 6 minutes gone, and Carlton getting closer than they've been for a long time, but the Swans with a chance. Mitchell frustrated at not being able to pick it up at one grab, and a bit of agitation now. Ron Thomas sitting next to Tommy, and the face just starting to look slightly alarmed. Bayes climbing high, but straight to DOROTICH, who bursts out of defence. Took a bit too long, but gets it to Meldrum. Running onto the ball, which bounces nicely for him. Lovely floating hand pass to Alvin, who runs onto it and kicks long, but there's nothing at full forward. Carroll misses an easy one. RHYS-JONES the chance now. Second bite at the ball, and a third, and eventually looking for a ball up, but getting a free kick for a push in the back. The umpire ruling that Carter fell onto his back. And the former Swan, RHYS-JONES, takes it. Let's have a look. Oh, gee.
Maybe been not in possession.
Maybe, but he was over the ball, and normally that's ruled as constituting possession. And RHYS-JONES very lucky, in my opinion.
Well, at least he was over the top of the ball playing in front. The bad mark was the fact that Carroll dropped the sitter.
What an important kick. The margin 15 points. Lovely drop punt. And the Blues are back in the ball game at the 7.5-minute mark. The margin back to 9 points after they trailed by almost 6 goals halfway through the third quarter. And the Navy Blues are coming home.
Those moves at half-time have revitalised a lot of players. RHYS-JONES now back on the wing. We see this incident here where RHYS-JONES went to pick the ball up one hand with a scoop, coming in there. Pretty lucky to get that as a free kick. He was over the ball. Obviously, looking at that close up there, it wasn't a free, but if you're in front, well, the luck runs with you.
You see how greasy that ball is too in this night time. Well played, Ironmonger. Out to David Murphy. On to Healy. Healy's well tackled. Picked up there by Big Smith. He's very slow. Back it goes to Healy. And intercepted by Motley. Motley gets it out and is driven down towards centre wing, but the free kick is gone and is to be taken by Motley. But what a miserable half. After the first quarter, as Dennis Carroll had, that was a bad mistake, and the goal resulted. A couple of 15-metre penalties have gone against him.
Well, his confidence is probably shattered by Kernahan in that third quarter.
Waiting now as Motley now kicks it high downfield, looking for RHYS-JONES this time. Carroll's with him. Neither look like taking it. Alvin racing out there. Mitchell's with him too. Mitchell's got 2-1 against him, has bundled over the line, ball in front of him goes over 2. It'll be thrown in at centre wing position. Robert Walls, doer as ever, on the phone.
Few sleepless nights planning this one, producing the bags under the eyes. Johnston to half forward for Carlton. Kernahan with plenty to beat as usual and not much at ground level. First there is Browning, running onto his wrong foot. Sock as well. Makes a lot of ground. Now a real race. GLASCOTT leads in the race for it. The old one-hand pickup. Has to kick in a hurry, but does it very effectively. Gains 35 metres for the Blues, and the throw-in to take place up towards the forward pocket. The crowd really coming to life now. Carlton with plenty of support here in this 33,000 strong crowd at the SCG.
Big leap from behind there by Henwood. Over the back it goes. Here's a chance for Neil Cordy. Jumps over his Carlton opponent, but the ball is out of play. And that really was getting foot to ball very quickly with GLASCOTT there back a few moments ago. It's on the 50-metre mark as big giant Ironmonger has done such a wonderful job. Henwood above him very strongly. Toohey fights for it. Kernahan, the thick of things, out to Alvin. Alvin downfield, Meldrum in front. A very good punch this time. Another chance for a snapshot for goal. It's missed. Missed there by Motley. Oh, he threw his head in disgust. Missing such an easy one. He wasn't far out.
But I suppose, well, the good news is that Carlton players are now at the front of the pack, and Motley was there again. The Swans are falling down in that area now after being dominating. Bolton has been out of the game. Morwood has gone out of the game on their forward line. And they need a little bit of a lift from their running players who have been so dominating. But at this particular stage, the Carlton players are at the foot of the pack.
Yes, and they're there again. Johnston coming to life. To half forward. RHYS-JONES comes from the back, climbs high. The scout Motley, a second chance. Peter Motley, he won't miss this one. He doesn't, and the margin is 2 points. Approaching the 11-minute mark of the last term, and the Blues are storming home at the SCG.
Once again, Tim, when that ball fell, let's have a look at the numbers of Carlton players here. Good contesting by RHYS-JONES. Motley was there. Fraser Murphy was there. Talking. There's Gleeson. So they've got the numbers there now, and Carlton, I think we said at three-quarter time, they were capable of coming back, and their smaller players have lifted, and it's a great credit to them, and RHYS-JONES contesting very, very strongly.
And Fraser Murphy came down the ground to agree with you there, Kevin. Patted RHYS-JONES on the back and said, well done, mate, because he had 3 against him.
A good player for Carlton since half-time has been GLASCOTT.
Yes, yes, come right into the game.
With that running style of his.
Typical long running style that he's got. He loves to be roaming fast and free and has done it well.
What a test now between 1 and 2 on the ladder.
Ironmonger on the ball. Well done, Madden. Intercepted brilliantly that time by Mitchell. Mitchell's kick doesn't cover much distance. Leading in the race is Potter. Overrunning at that time was Morwood. A hand pass goes from Fraser Murphy to Alvin. Alvin downfield. Underneath it, Cordy never looked like it. Out comes Rod Carter. Handles it very well. Then lost it. Henwood, strong play. Can't find anybody to give it to. Down he goes. Claiming the free kick was Motley, but the umpire doesn't agree, but the Blues are back in attack.
And the Blues' endeavour from about the 20-minute mark of the third term has lifted 100%. And 12 minutes into the last quarter, they're just 2 points behind. RHYS-JONES fumbles as he had the chance to shark cleanly. Hasn't played this too well. Murphy there in support. Has had a bad night. Murphy's law for Fraser tonight. Anything that can go wrong will. And he wasn't able to change it then, just taking the ball over the line.
Ironmonger, oh, a tremendous leap from the back by Henwood. He's done that several times. Picked up by Wayne Johnson, cleverly dodges, sends it down to the danger zone again. Here comes Rodney Carter in trouble. A very good tackle to Motley, against Motley. Picked up and driven out of danger very nicely by Toohey, but straight to Murphy. And Murphy is about 65 metres out. Won't make the distance. Centres it right down into the teeth of goal. Big leap by Kernahan, picked up there by Gleeson, lost it. Browning dives at it. Kernahan's the fighter for it. And there comes the umpire to bounce it once again right in the teeth of Carlton's goal. And they trail by just 2 points.
13 minutes gone. Heaps of time for these two teams to show which is best and which deserves to be on top of the ladder after 6 rounds, a quarter of the way through the season. Williams' hand pass taken by Bernie Evans, kick smothered. Blues deep in attack, well played Meldrum, the freak, so elusive. And now the chance on for Bradley with the left boot. He hits the post. Well, fair enough, because the Swans had a couple of those earlier in the match, and perhaps it was Carlton's turn, and the margin is just 1 point.
Yes, they've had 3 actually, the Swans, so that was fair enough. Now Neil Cordy, not sure where to go. A good leap by Healy in front was very intelligent. He looked at Healy, looked at Williams. They're the 2 best players in the side. Chose Healy. He's the taller player. Smith is the target of Healy. Punched away from him. Williams and Alvin. This will be interesting. Alvin gets the ball. Out wide to DOROTICH. 3 against him. Still gets boot to ball very cleverly. Punched down. Here's Meldrum with a chance. Was retarded by his own teammate Murphy, actually. Murphy with the ball now, but the umpire's whistle has blown. Another ball up. Carlton in attack. 1 point the difference. Swans in front. Paul Hawke waiting ready to go on the ground.
And the Blues making all the running at the start of this last quarter, closing the gap to a point. Swans under great pressure now after looking like winners all night. Now they're into attack through David Murphy to half forward. DOROTICH, big run at the ball, couldn't take the mark. Danger for Carlton, well played Big Tony Smith, but still the Blues in charge. Dennis, sloppy sort of a kick. Fortunately for him, bounces over the line. That was a good result for him, and he was a little bit lucky to get it.
Tom HAFEY obviously wants more movement on the forward line. He's taken Bays off, who's had a poor game, and Hawke has been put on the half-forward flank.
In front was Madden doing it well. Here's the danger man, Bradley, playing well. A driving kick underneath it, Carroll. Carroll plays on. RHYS-JONES very clever. Henwood gets his big, strong body in. Carroll again. Fumbles badly, having a bad time, the captain. And once again, it'll be bounced. Once again, it's in Carlton's attacking zone.
And he should have taken that mark again, I felt then.
He's really having a bad time.
Suddenly, Carlton's pressure starting to tell, and the Swans making rare mistakes. Madden, unlucky not to get a free. GLASCOTT gives it to RHYS-JONES, who plays for the free kick and gets it. A little luckily, 60 metres from goal. He's got Kernahan in great position, but didn't see him for the short pass. He's too far out to score. Kicks to full forward. Plenty of spoilers, and Carter roves the pack nicely. But Carlton have the numbers 3-1 out there. 2 of them fall over, and Bolton brilliantly over the top of Tony Morwood. What great thinking that was. Now Hawke, just off the interchange bench, has nothing to kick to and has to go for the boundary line. And HAFEY starting to look as though he's seeing something that he doesn't like.
That was brilliant by Paul Hawke. There was not a Swans player in sight. There were Carlton players everywhere. And he just grubbed it along the ground and bounced it over the line. Of the 50s, a John Beckwith kick to perfection. In comes Smith and Madden. Madden won it. Goes back for it again, just Motley playing a good turn. Bolton in trouble, but gets a lightning hand pass to Williams. Williams steadies and drives it down towards the half-forward flank. Could have been a free that time, not allowed. And it's eventually buffeted over the line again. And this time, it's on the half-forward line for the Swans.
They're having a lot of trouble penetrating John DOROTICH at centre-half back. There's not a player on the Swans forward line who's capable of taking a mark at the moment.
Madden's taken over in the ruck, and Bradley doing well at ground level. Ironmonger lumbering after that one. Fraser Murphy with pace, which could be very helpful in this quarter. Everyone's been sucked up the ground. Who's got the pace here? Henwood beats Meldrum to the ball. Saves the day for the Swans. Meldrum kept it in. I think it might have crossed the line, but the boundary umpire a long way from the action.
No, it was in.
Now Henwood clears to half-back. Nothing there for Carlton. Awkward bounce for the Swans. Hawke, which way to go? Does it brilliantly. Good hand pass too. Fumble from Murphy. Still a chance for Murphy. Up to full forward. Silvani getting under it. Only Capita beat. Takes it through for a behind. And the Swans lead by 2 points. Long period without a score as the Swans 12-15, Carlton 12-13.
They had the glasses on that one right down on the boundary line there, Tim, and it was kept in play. It was very, very clever play.
There's quite a consultation going on between the umpires, Kevin. I'm not sure what's happening.
Relay free kick, because the ball, I think, is going to come out to the point of the square.
Yes, that's right. Motley's in possession right at the point of the square.
One of the Swans players may have tampered with the ball after it was through for a point, rather than letting Silvani get the ball and kick it back.
Kick it out, which is a costly one. It's cost them 65 metres, and Motley kicks it long downfield looking for the winning Kernahan. Henwood's done well against him in the air, jumps and spoils it. And there again, another pack develops. But Henwood, with his endeavour and his great strength and courage, has really been a bit of a problem for Kernahan, and Kernahan up to date being the Carlton forward has been easily the dominant man, kicking 5 goals 5. Waiting now for the umpire bounce. The Blues in attack. Great leap by Henwood once again. Out wide it goes. It's 2 Carlton to 1, and good shepherding gives the chance to Dean. Dean then hooks it back in front. Great effort by Kernahan, almost got it. And again, pack develops. And we'll see the umpire. No, he signalled a free kick and it's going to the Blues.
No, Swans.
Yes, it is. Back to Rod Carter, who's played a sterling game.
At half-back, Bayes getting ready to come back. The Swans lead by 2 points and time ticking away. 19 minutes gone. Well done, Dean, just paddling it to Robertson, who let him down with a fumble. And Hawke really lifting the Swans in the last few minutes. Plays it well again and delivers nicely, but just too far in front of Mitchell for a throw-in on Sydney's half-forward flank. The home team leading by 2 points as Smith leaves the field.
And Bayes is back on the ground, and Hawke has been a good move when he came onto the ground to replace Bayes about 5 minutes ago. He's been in some good passages.
In fact, it seems the score's been amended on the board, a 1-point margin. Potter works it forward for the Swans. DOROTICH versus Bayes, just back on. Was he held? Yes, he was. And Bayes gets a free kick.
Controversial one, that.
I thought it was there.
I think it was there, yeah.
Touch and go. But it could be crucial because Bayes, who is one of the best kicks of the ball in the game, in fact, perhaps without peer, is only 15, maybe 20 metres from goal as he kicks, although the angle doesn't favour his left boot, but he could give this a great shake. Oh, he's kicked across the face, missed everything. Amazingly, perhaps the pressure just starting to take its toll. At the 20-minute mark, the Swans 86, Carlton 85.
And Smith has to come back on the ground because Potter's in the hands of the trainers, and he's left. They've got him over the boundary line, and big Tony Smith back on.
Silvani kicks out wide and kicks it very well. Onto the half-back flank, and here comes Kennedy. Kennedy out very wide. Robertson onto his left foot. RHYS-JONES leads Carroll and does it very well. Well, you can't keep him down all day. Today he's kept down for 3 quarters, played a lovely last quarter. Underneath it, Carter misses a sitter and is picked up there by Gleeson. Out towards Alvin. Alvin Shepherd to the left foot, comes right across the face of goal. Hit the post again.
What an amazing kick. That would have been the goal of the decade if he'd kicked it. The score's level. Now, there was an adjustment made a moment ago. Our score there agrees with the scoreboard, which says it's level, and yet the Swans led by 2 points. Let's hope we've got the scores right on the board. RHYS-JONES can put Carlton into attack. The Blues haven't been in front all night. Now they're level. Bad fumble by Alvin. Williams, oh, brilliantly done. Then the hand pass put his team under pressure. Johnston long to full forward. Blues a great chance. Where are the scouts? Ball up and a chance for Carlton to even work it through for a behind to gain the lead in the match. 21.5 minutes gone in the final term.
There's Potter limping off the ground, but all the concentration on Kernahan has made such a difference to the Carlton forward line. What a captain he's been tonight. Kicked 5 goals, and now 3-1 against him has given the smaller Carlton players something really to rove to. Here comes Ironmonger, Kernahan with him. Fraser Murphy in trouble. Over the top they go to the boundary line and slither over line out of bounds. And it'll be thrown in once again. But Carlton are in attack and the scoreboard is level. Beckett comes very quickly into play. Henwood's the big, strong player. Bayes hits it out wide. The umpire's in the road of Hawke. Gets in his road. Hawke's got them all against him. Motley shoots. Motley kicks it to the goal square and it's through for 1 behind.
And the Blues are in front, and what a stroke of good fortune, because the Swans look set to come out of defence. In fact, they could have really set something up, and twice, unfortunately for them, the umpire just happened to be parked in the way. Tui kicks long down the middle. Madden, a great mark. Well done by the Giant. He doesn't take too many of them, but he did that really well.
It was a poor kick because he kicked it towards Browning, who must be about 10 inches shorter.
60 metres from goal. Here's a giant kick of the ball, is Madden, although this one drops a little short. Nothing there for Carlton. The Swans defenders spoil each other, giving Carlton the chance. RHYS-JONES and Gleeson. And the Swans starting to make errors in defence. They really had an opportunity there to get out of trouble. Chance for the Blues now. Dean, if he can pick it up. Pressure telling on both sides. And eventually the Swans do come away with it. They were going to get a free kick anyway. Wright kicks to the wing, but kicks poorly. DOROTICH backing up nicely. Pushed in the back. No free kick. Well played GLASCOTT to Kennedy, to Dennis, and Carlton mount the attack again. Well placed pass by Dennis, or Dean drops a sitter. Support from Gleeson, long to full forward. Major chance again, but a great mark by Cordy.
Dennis Carroll's been moved to centre-half forward. He has to give it out short towards Tui. Tui plays on and they bet to get on with the business. There's no Swans player to kick to. The only one is Bradley. Bradley's wide out there in centre wing position. Bork's out of danger, still in danger. Kicks it poorly. Hawke has been a very good player for the Swans in the last quarter. Tries to find Williams. Williams can't get rid of it quickly enough. Into it comes again. And Bolton goes down. So does Mitchell, and Tom HAFEY looking most despondent. The lead has been whittled away. We're at the 24-minute mark, and there's 1 point the difference, and Carlton are in front.
Well, bad kick from Bradley then centering the ball. I thought it might be a repeat of last Sunday's match when Grinter did that and gave away the winning goal. Still the Swans with a chance. 24.5 minutes gone. Wright puts them into attack to half forward. At the back, Mitchell for his 4th goal. Gives it away. Morwood. The Swans are back in front. And the SCG is delirious. At the 24.5-minute mark, Tony Morwood gets his 3rd. And the Swans by 5 points.
Well, they badly needed that goal. And little Mitchell, there's Stevie Wright. He took the ball on the half volley. He kicked it as far as he could. There was the punch by the Carlton defenders. But waiting down was Mitchell. And Mitchell there with that beautiful ball gave it out. He feigned the hand pass, gave it out to Morwood. And Morwood, who after dominating that first quarter with 2 goals, has been a disappointing player on and off the ground. But he kicked that goal, and that's the one the Swans wanted.
What a great day Stephen Wright has had. He started that foray down forward. Oh, well played. Bradley goes racing downfield. Hooks it back, and Steve Kernahan comes in from the side. A big punch that time by Carter. Gives the opportunity for her to pick up, and Richard Johnson it is onto his wrong foot. Out wide towards the flank it goes, and a good leap by Carter again. Right on the boundary line, Fraser Murphy, and into Rod Carter it went. He smothered it. Maybe accidentally, and it came into him, but he kept close to the boot. Well done, Rod Carter. It's out of bounds, but the Blues are in attack.
Doubly well done, because he initially made the spoil when Carlton looked a chance to grab the mark. Kernahan the palm down, but triply well done, Carter. 3 times he saved there. Gets it to Mitchell. Out to the wing. Dean, a good attempt. It wasn't Dean, it was Kennedy trying to mark. Smith and Wright over the ball, and finally a ball up. Just Carlton's attacking side of the centre line. 26 minutes gone. Only 4 goals kicked in the last quarter. So the term probably won't go more than 29 minutes. And the Swans lead by 5 points.
A real slogger now. Ironmonger and Madden. Madden does it well. Underneath it was Hawke. Could have taken it free. He does. Hawke has made a big difference since he came off the interchange bench. Very skillful player. Downfield towards centre-half forward. Kappa goes, never looked like it. It was punchment, it should have been marked that time. Picked up by Madden, he's caught by Smith. Gets it across, and the mark is taken by Robertson, and Robertson would be wise just to steady for a moment. He's about centre-half back. He wants to kick it long in the Kernahan direction, which he does. Henwood's his opponent. Cordy punches it long, gives an opportunity to Tommy Alvin. Alvin goes past Bolton, good tackle, and across it comes. The chance is Mitchell. Mitchell out to Hawke. Hawke, a beautiful hand pass. And once again racing downfield is Carroll. Carroll spears it goalwards. Underneath it, it was almost taken by Morwood. Through his outstretched fingers it went through for 1 behind.
Well, I thought that Carroll would sink that.
1 goal the difference, Kev, incidentally.
Thought he would sink that. He's a lovely kick. He had plenty of time.
Carlton in trouble, but out of it. Silvani to Dean. Dean a long floater. Be hard for the Blues to win from here. They need 2 scores. Robertson to the wing, a beautiful kick. Finds Evans, who's had a terrible night. Centering kick towards RHYS-JONES. Caps off a terrible night for Evans. Smith takes it to Browning, who can kick the ball immense distances, but chooses not to. Gives it to Bolton, and well played this by the Swans. They look as though they've weathered the storm and done it with class. Bolton up towards half forward. Ball comes loose.